Hello, happy people. I'm Shivani Kshirsagar, and today I will be hosting this so called Thop Gratitude Hour for the next 1 hour. Thank you, Nivedita, for recording. Uh, Let us start with a song. इतनी शक्ति हमें दे न दाता मन का विश्वास कमजोर होना इतनी शक्ति हमें दे न दाता मन का विश्वास कमजोर होना हम चले नेक रास्ते पे हमसे भूल कर भी कोई भूल होना इतनी शक्ति हमें दे न दाता मन का विश्वास कमजोर होना. So this is one of the songs which like me and my mom always sings, and it is all about to acquire some energy. So in this world consisting of 7900000 people, why are we, a group of 15 members, are on this call today? We came together for a purpose, to know more about how to unlock gratitude. So let us discuss gratitude. Before that, in today's call with Srividya ma'am has presented a beautiful video regarding appreciation. So let me again show, like, present it.
I'm here to get validated.
You are awesome.
Excuse me?
You have an amazing face. You've got powerful features, man. Anyone ever tell you that?
No.
And listen, you look a little down. And it may seem like sometimes people don't understand you. But someday, man, someday, people are gonna see you for what you really are.
You really think so?
Absolutely. You are great.
Need a validation, please?
You are great, ma'am. You have amazing cheekbones.
Really?
Sir, yes. We have a situation. Where?
Oh my gosh. Ah, 6 months ago.
What the hell's going on?
Yes, that was so sweet.
You've been through it. You know. You've had so much life experience that other people don't appreciate, but you know.
Plus you do.
They're not patronizing the shops. They're just coming to see him.
Oh, sir. You're in great shape. You work out?
Not for long.
I do, actually, a bit. Yeah, thanks.
Young man, we are running a business here, not a social club.
That is a fantastic suit. It really flatters you.
You think so?
You guys work so hard. You are the backbone that keeps this place running.
It always felt like no one really appreciated us.
Yeah, I mean, our jobs are so stressful, and it seems like most of the times people just don't see it.
No. What you do is so important.
You know, I bet the boss would love to meet you.
You are great. You provide hundreds of jobs, sustaining hundreds of families. That's huge.
That's so good to hear. Most times I feel like people don't recognize that. I'm just the big bad man on the hill.
Not at all. You give.
You know, I know some people who'd probably like to meet you.
Mr. President, no matter what people say about you, you have still got a great golf swing.
God bless you.
You do. You have a fantastic mustache. I bet Burt Reynolds and Tom Selleck look at you and get envious. I'm not kidding.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How was that?
Thank you, Akka.
This is like when we appreciate, we can see how people feel good about that, and we are experiencing it. But just knowing what we are doing is something very different. I have played this video. So, any thoughts? Like any comment?
Yeah, this is the second time I'm watching this video, but the same smile is there on my face, the first and the second. Like, I really enjoyed this video, Akka. Thank you for sharing it.
Thank you, Nidhi. So, okay, let's go to another video and then we'll discuss the two things which we have to discuss today.
That was an amazing video. You should send me that link.
Yes, sir.
I didn't see the end part of it. Sorry, I had to go down.
Okay, sir. No problem.
This is my story of how gratitude transformed my life into a tale of wonder. It all began with the approach of my 50th birthday. I liked the idea of celebrating, but I wasn't so sure if I really wanted a party. I'm a therapist with a bent toward Jungian psychology. I'm reflective, I'm analytic, I'm an introvert, not your typical party material. So while I liked the idea of celebrating, I really wasn't sure I wanted a party. Besides, I really wasn't sure I wanted people to know that I was turning 50. I rather preferred the idea that I could still pass for 48 on a really good day. While I was contemplating how I might celebrate 50 years of life, my grandmother was dying at 105 and a half years of age. I flew to be with her one last time. Sitting with her, I thought of everything that she had done for me in my life. I thought of how she had lived her life. Her life was never easy, and yet she seemed to handle each transition with courage and with curiosity and care for other people. I longed to have one more conversation with her. I longed to be able to say, thank you for everything you've done for me. Thank you for leaving me this blueprint of how I wanted to live out my days. But the opportunity had passed. Her brilliant mind, so diminished by dementia, she no longer recognized me. She no longer could hold a conversation. I thought about my parents. I thought about a beloved aunt living in a nursing home in Florida. And I knew in that moment that I did not want to get to their funerals and speak these warm words of appreciation in a eulogy, wishing that I had said thank you while they were alive. I left the nursing home that afternoon, knowing I would never see my grandmother again. I left the nursing home that afternoon knowing exactly how I wanted to celebrate my 50th birthday. I wanted to write 50 letters of gratitude to people who had profoundly changed my life through their support, their encouragement, their love, and their belief in me. Immediately, the idea felt right. And immediately, this idea felt a bit ambitious and daunting. So I decided to keep this private and solitary and tell only one person. A delightful young woman working in the stationery section of a bookstore. I carefully explained this passionate endeavor of mine and told her that I needed to find just the right stationery. After 2 hours, I selected these cream-colored crane note cards with an amethyst border, a little nod to my February birthstone. Even then, I was worried about completing the project, and I was worried about completing it with the same passion and enthusiasm that I felt in the infancy of the idea. So I decided to create some guidelines for myself. The first guideline is that I would thank only the people to whom I was truly grateful, people who had profoundly changed my life. I wanted no obligation, no pressure to thank people just because I'd spent a lot of time with them. The second guideline that I gave myself was that the focus would always stay on the writing and the sending of these letters, not on receiving a response. The third guideline is that whenever possible, I would include this memory, this vivid memory, or this actual conversation that I'd shared with people that seemed to highlight the qualities of which I was so grateful. These were letters of gratitude, not notes. Determining who would receive these letters was the most curious part about the project. Initially, it was easy. There were a handful of people that had had such a strong impact on my life that I knew I wanted to thank them right away. But after about 15 letters, I had a slight problem. I had 35 more people to identify, 35 more letters to write soulfully. I will tell you right now, there is no guide or manual for letting us know who changes our life. So the only thing I could think of was that I constructed this imaginary timeline of historical dates and events, just like the kind we used in grade school and taped to the top of our desk. And starting at the left, I began to mark off dates. The day I was born, the day I went to college, the day I moved to the Philippines. But being a true therapist, I knew that dates alone would not reveal the most significant incidents. And so I created a second timeline of emotional experiences, emotional events. When had I felt the most joy? When had I felt so secure and taken unimaginable risks? When had I felt great sorrow and despair and hopelessness? When had I not been watching my own shadow and hurt people that I really loved? I began to dream about people. I paid attention to these conversations or these snippets of conversation that I'd held in my mind for years. They had felt significant, but I'd never really understood why. I began to realize that none of these emotional experiences had occurred without the companionship of specific individuals in my life. Even more intriguing was to realize that many of these individuals had been a part of my life a short time. While their interaction with me had been brief, their impact had been so strong. Even in these times that had felt so painful, so difficult, I was positive that I'd been alone. I was so positive that I'd sojourned without any company. But looking back, I began to see that people had been with me all along, even without my initiation or without my seeking. It was as if they were magical helpers stepping out from a fairy tale to join me on my walk on the road. Within the world of fairy tales, there is a genre known as wonder tales, in which the seeker, over a great length of time, encounters obstacles and challenges and all these episodes of marvel and even danger through which archetypal figures are met. Well, when we think of fairy tales, we usually think of that happily ever after. Who doesn't want happily ever after? But those of us who've lived life long enough know that happily ever after seems to be reserved for a select few, if any. Honest assessment reveals that much of life is about obstacles and challenges, and even episodes of marvel and sometimes danger. Perhaps our tales become wondrous, not because these obstacles and challenges are eliminated or avoided, but because through these obstacles and challenges, we meet the characters who are to be a part of our story, the sweetest part of our life. Halfway through the project, I had a little fun. I decided to assign archetypal titles or universals to the people receiving my letters. Now, sometimes, a traditional archetypal title fit perfectly to the person I was sending a letter to, and other times I just took liberty and created my own. Remember that an archetype is simply that typified example, that form or model to which we can all relate. I was delighted to find that in my story, I had tricksters, I had unruly allies, I had a playboy, I had a saint, I had a shepherdess, I had a white knight and traveling companions. Here are a few others. The shaman, that that one that moves between the real and spiritual worlds, offering magical healing. This is the woman who taught me most about gratitude. The coach. Years before I reached her classroom, one English teacher believed that I held potential in an area of storytelling competition. She took her one day off each week to drive me to competitions through the state. Ah, the fool. In 7th grade, one boy proclaimed his love for me pretty much everywhere he went. At 13, I was horrified. At 50, I thought it was fantastic. Not only, but beyond the affection that the fool gives, the fool reminds us to bear our heart unabashedly without regret. The aerial dreamer. No one lived their life with more passion than Marvin. I spent many hours as a child in his personal open cockpit biplane, examining the world from above. Lastly, Carl Jung reminds us that not all of our favorite companions are human. He would refer to this as the animal companion, but I preferred my own title, the magical beast. She too received a letter of gratitude, along with a can of tuna. Ordinary people and one magical beast stepping into my life with extraordinary support and love and belief in me for my betterment and my improvement. I found emotional timelines do not stay linear. They rise and fall like mountains and valleys, and they snake through my page like a river through green pastures. At the end of this project, I was left with this topographical image of landscape and texture and color. It was the emotional topography of my soul. I've learned so much about gratitude in this project, but I want to leave you with 2 insights. I believe a tale of wonder awaits all of us when we feel that gratitude to the people who have been a part of our lives. You might look at your life as a series of unrelated events that don't hold a lot of meaning or significance now. May I invite you to look through the lens of gratitude. It is transformative. You will feel awe, you will feel humbled, you will be just amazed and even a bit breathless when you look at the love and mercy and kindness that people have shown you in your life. Even those really, really painful events in my life took on an entirely new perspective when I looked at the people who had surrounded them and how grateful I was for their part in my life. I was left at the end of this project with a testimony of grace and love. Second, I believe that gratitude deserves expression. We can feel gratitude, but that weight, that magnitude, that full blossom beauty of gratitude is most complete when we show our appreciation to the people who have made our life abundant. Once upon a time, a child was born in a Minnesota blizzard. The small family welcomed the child, loved her, watched her grow. She spent her childhood in the sweet pastures of innocence, lost in imaginary play of what might be. At night, she dreamed of flying outside the lines. She heard the call and left the known to find herself in treasures of gold in a bigger world. As with every tale of wonder, she discovered pleasure. As with every tale of wonder, she encountered witches, dragons, ogres with real names. Her heart broke. She made mistakes, and she lost her way. And like so many of us in this journey, the swamplands tried to swallow her alive. But they couldn't hold her down. The divine was at work. And in the darkest night, the shaman appeared to our heroine, teaching her lessons of gratitude while she struggled to find hope. She was a poor student, unable to recognize this great teacher disguised with a bad wig. And so lessons were repeated over and over as she suffered the dark night of the soul. Eventually, she escaped the swampland but not before the shaman's lessons were imprinted on her heart. She began to climb the mountain of her dreams, slowly, steadily, acquiring true and unlikely companions in her ascent. A wise old man, a stranger in an art museum, a fairy godmother. But this time, she knew to look more closely. Pay attention to those you least suspect will guide you. Yes, she learned that achieving the good life is not found at the top of the mountain. Rather, it is found with your people in the everyday, ordinary journey. Because, you see, it is this culmination of people who have believed in you, who have supported you and loved you and encouraged you and believed in your dreams outside the lines that makes your story and my story marvelous. A tale of wonder, actually. That young woman is not so young anymore, though she would love to think she could pass for 48 on a really good day. She can be found in one of her two gardens. The first is a small plot of earth where she grows roses, fragrant and pure of color, the magical beast always near. The second garden is cultivated through a small stack of cream-colored note cards with an amethyst border, reminding her of the day this whole marvelous journey began. And picking up her pen, she begins to write from a heart of gratitude to the people who make her life very rich. Thank you.
ఎక్కడ దొరుకుతాయి శివాని నీకు ఇలాంటి వీడియోస్?
Beautiful video.
సూపర్.
So, does anyone want to say something, or shall we start the discussion?
I love the word magical helpers. If అంటే if we are keeping our heart out, so that magical helpers will always be around us అని I believe. So she told it in the same way.
Yes, Anna.
Thank you.
And I love this part where she says that ఏదైనా మంచి కావాలంటే like you don't have to go to mountains or something like to feel good and do good. You just have to be grateful for your people around you.
Have that sense of gratitude.
Yeah. So, okay, let us start the discussion of two things. Which, like, first is whether a team can be created without gratitude. Like, did you ask your parents or friends or neighbors around you? Did you have any discussion? You can share with us. Okay. Let me start. Like, I asked my father about this, that like whether like in your team, if there is no gratitude or any appreciation, how do you feel? And he said like there are times where like the boss used to change every time for around 6 months or so, 6 or 8 months. So one of the bosses in his company used to appreciate my dad, and my dad used to feel good and used to do more, if like more than what is needed. So he says like a team can be formed, it is like it is true, but like to do good, to more to like for higher things, for dreaming big and all, we need the gratitude mindset. Like it is like eating anything without chutney. Okay, if we don't have a gratitude mindset.
Wow, very well said.
So like, does anyone have discussions with your people?
That's a great way. Like yes, we can form a team, but if we are signing up for bigger things, we will have to have gratitude mindset. Agreed.
So, first of all, Shivani, I'm glad that you had this conversation with your father. I hope the rest of you will have conversations with your uh, parents, friends, anyone. Okay. So the question is, I hope you understood the question, right? Can you form a company, or what happens if you don't have a team in a company? So I worked for one in a group, and this was probably the worst group I ever worked for in my entire life. The manager had no clue of gratitude, and it was so hard to work. So it took me, and I think it was only within less than 6 months, I put in my application saying, I said, I'm leaving. And that was the best thing I did, because I went to a different team where appreciation was a common thing, or at least it was average. And, it really helped a lot going to that team. And my manager loved the appreciation. I was always grateful. That was something I always did. So he was like saying, why are you sending me gratitude letters or emails? And I said, how many gratitude messages do you get? He said, oh, usually one couple of every 6 months or so. But because he has only one manager, right? And he manages about 15 of us, 12 of us or something. So he has to send 12 gratitude cards or 12 messages every so often to keep us inspired. But he gets only one. So I said, see, you have to send, 12, but you get one. So I'm trying to give you one more. So, so I just want you to know that because of you, I'm able to take care of my family. I have a job. I'm able to spend time with my wife and kids. So I really appreciate the job very much. So I did this to everyone, every manager I did. I always said, oh my God, thank you very much. I have a job. I have money. I have food. I can take care of my wife and kids. And it is a simple thing, right? It is like the managers will always say, Shravandi, we do it for everyone. I know you do it for everyone, but I just want you to know it is really big for me. And that small sentence, once in a while I do it, right? Every 3 months to 6 months, it really, really helped a lot. And now when this manager was so impressed when I needed to take off for coming to India because my parents were not doing well, he was like, Shravan, no problem, go ahead. So he made so many, because I came 4 times a year one time. And he was so happy with the way I was doing my work. And also, I won his heart, right? So he was like now always trying to figure out a way to support, to help me out. So uh, I didn't know this, right? I didn't know that my father was not going to get, was going to be unwell and that I would need his help or anything like that. I was just being who I was. But just being that, showing that gratitude helped me in a big way for coming to India and taking care of my parents and everything. And also starting this, he still calls me. He called me the other day and said, "Hey, how is the work in India which you're doing? How is it going?" So,
We should
so
write a
great.
gratitude card to him.
Wow.
He is indirectly helping us.
Oh yeah, he really was a big help for us. So great. So definitely a team is, in my opinion, if you have a good team, then you can really do, uh, you can have a lot of fun in anything you do. But if you don't, it is very hard to have a company. But anyway, so that is my experience. I think you should all ask your parents, and they'll tell their stories, and that itself is like a bonding thing. You will be bonding with your parents, and they'll be so happy to tell you those stories, and even your friends or relatives. Okay.
Yes, sir. Like my mother told, like, I asked what, like, if you, what is the difference you faced when you are grateful and not grateful? She says, when I am grateful, I make good curries. When I am not grateful, something happens there.
Yes. 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 That is so true.
సేమ్ మా డాడీ అలానే చెప్తారు. అట్లీస్ట్ చిన్న చిన్న హెల్ప్ అయినా చేయాలి. మొత్తం అంతా తన చేతిలోనే ఉంటుంది కదా, ఏముంది ఒక్క రవ్వ ఉప్పు ఎక్కువ పడితే అయిపోతుంది, ఆ రోజు మనం తినలేము, సో మంచిగా చూసుకోవాలని చెప్తారు మా డాడీ అయితే.
Yes. Yes. Is it
Yeah,
Deepti?
Nivedita?
Who is-
Yeah, yeah. Yes, Akka. Uh, like, firstly, I want to share some experience which I had few years back with my cousins. Like, two of them, one cousin will, she's doing job at BHEL, and the second one, like, I mean, she started with a small company, but now, like, she's okay with, I mean, she's now a pretty good, like, Honeywell company. So I mean, the first one is her is the first cousin is like she is in government. I mean, BHL, it is a government based company. So like she always used to say, like, whenever I ask about her work and everything, she only used to have from morning 7 to evening 4, only few hours of work. I mean, it is okay, better than few other companies in private, those timings. So she used to say, like, I mean, they will put lot of pressure, and she did mechanical, so she's the, I mean, in that whole company, I think she's the second or third girl in that. So I mean, she really faced a lot of struggles, and there is no a proper person to appreciate her. But I mean, the case which happened in my second cousin is not same. Like, she started with small company, but then, like, she got huge support from everyone, and then from 10,000 salary to now she will get 1 lakh salary. I mean, according to her, that is the growth she got through her appreciations. So then I realized, like, choosing is also, we should choose wisely. Like, always they say men will choose wisely, women should also choose wisely. I mean, she is such an inspiration to me in that case, choosing wisely.
Very nice, Nivedita. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Akka.
Does anyone want to share?
Go ahead, Vinita.
Hello.
Yes,
Yes, you're
Nivedita.
on.
Hi.
Hi everyone. అంటే ఇప్పుడు టీమ్ టీమ్ కావాలా వద్దా 1000 crore కంపెనీ చేయడానికి అన్నది దాంతోని నేనేం చెప్పాలనుకుంటున్నా అంటే, యాజ్ వీఆర్ బేసికలీ ఫ్రమ్ ఫార్మింగ్ ఫ్యామిలీ, వాళ్ళు చెప్పేది ఏంటంటే, ఇప్పుడు ఏదైనా ఒక పంట పండిస్తున్నామంటే మనకి కొందరు పని వాళ్ళు కావాలి, మనకి దానికి హెల్ప్ చేసే వాళ్ళు కావాలి. అదే నేను ఒక్కడనే చేసుకుంటా అంటే ఒక్కడికి ఏ పని కూడా చేయలేడు. ఒక ఎక్కర్ పొలాన్నంతా కలుపు తీయడం ఒక్కడి వల్ల అయితే అసలు కాదు. సే అంటే ఇప్పుడు నేను చెప్పాలనుకుంటుంది ఏంటంటే, ఇందులో గ్రాటిట్యూడ్ కూడా తీసుకోవచ్చు. ఇప్పుడు మనం కూలి పనికి కొందరు వ్యక్తులు కావాలి, వాళ్ళ దగ్గరకు పోయి నీకు పైసలు ఇస్తా వచ్చి పని చేయ అంటే ఎవరు చేయరు. అంటే మనం వెళ్ళి వాళ్ళకి మనం ఫస్ట్ టైం అడుగుతాము, ఓకే వస్తారు, వచ్చినప్పుడు అది చెయ్యి ఇది చెయ్యి అట్లా ఆర్డర్ వేస్తే కుదరదు కదా. వాళ్ళు చేస్తున్న పనికి మనం కొంచెం అప్రిషియేషన్ అనేది ఇస్తే వాళ్ళు ఇంకా అరే నన్ను ఎంత మంచిగా చూసుకుంటున్నారు, నేను వీళ్ళ దగ్గరికి రావాలి, వీళ్ళు అంటే నా పట్ల కొంచెం కృతజ్ఞత భావం ఉంది కదా, నేను వాళ్ళకి చేయాలి అనేది ఉంటుంది. మనం ఇంకా వాళ్ళకి ఏ పనిలో అన్నా హెల్ప్ చేస్తే వాళ్ళు ఇక ఖచ్చితంగా మన దగ్గరికి రావడానికి ఒప్పుకుంటారు. అంటే ఇదైతే నేను చెప్పాలనుకున్నాను.
Very nice, Veda. Wow. I loved the way you expressed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Shall I call out the names or is it okay?
What Vinita said is such a simple example, but it is a really a powerful example, because that is something you will have to do all through your life. It's not just one time. ఏదో ఎప్పుడు చూడు ఏదో ఒక పని అవసరం ఉంటుంది. సో యూ విల్ బి నీడింగ్ సమ్వన్ ఆర్ ది అదర్ టు కమ్ అండ్ సపోర్ట్ యూ. సో ఇఫ్ యూ హ్యావ్ దట్ గ్రాటిట్యూడ్ మైండ్ సెట్ ఆల్రెడీ దేర్ సేయింగ్, హే వెన్ మా ఇంటికి ఎవరైనా వచ్చారనుకో పనులు చేయడానికి, వాళ్ళకి మేము మధ్యలో అడుగుతాం, వాటర్ కావాలా అంటాము, లేకపోతే పోయి టీ కావాలా అంటాము, లేకపోతే ఏమన్నా ఫుడ్ కావాలా అంటాము. ఈవెన్ దో వాళ్ళు తెల్లోళ్ళైనా కూడా మేము మా టీ తాగుతావా అని అంటాము. అంటే వాళ్ళు ఒక్కోసారి అంటారు. సో దెన్ సమ్ టైమ్స్ వాళ్ళతో పోయి మేము పని చేస్తాం. కొంచెం వాళ్ళు పని చేస్తుంటే ఏదైనా హెల్ప్ చేయాలా చెప్పు అని చెప్పేసి పక్కన కూర్చొని వాళ్ళతో పాటు కొంచెం సేపు చేస్తాం. అప్పుడు ఏంటంటే నాకు కూడా తెలుస్తుంది వాళ్ళు ఏం చేస్తున్నారు అన్నది. అది కరెక్ట్ గా చేస్తున్నారా లేదా అన్నది కూడా నాకు తెలుస్తుంది. నేను కూడా నేర్చుకుంటున్నాను ఏంటి వాళ్ళు ఎట్లా చేస్తున్నారు అంటే, నెక్స్ట్ టైం వాళ్ళని అడుగుతుంటే వాళ్ళు చెప్తారు ఇట్లా ఇవి చూసుకోవాలని చెప్తుంటారు. ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్ టైం మళ్ళీ అదే పని వచ్చింది అనుకో, ఏ తీరుగా ఆలోచించాలన్నది తెలుస్తుంది. సో we actually try to do that అనమాట. So this is something, if you develop that mindset, it will help you a lot. Well done, sir, Vinita.
So just to add, shall I?
Yeah, yes, Rohit.
Yes, sir. The same happens in my home also. So I get motivation from my mother. So every time, pratiroju. And the sad part about that is, mom చాలా మంది హెల్ప్ చేస్తుంది, బట్ హెల్ప్ రిసీవింగ్ అనేది తక్కువ ఉంటుంది. బట్ యెట్ షీ హెల్ప్స్. ఎందుకో నాకే ఇంకా వద్దు అని అంట frequently, but she never steps down for helping others. So I think this kind of attitude came into me from her, and ఇదే స్పిరిచువల్ ఇవన్నీ ఉంటే వచ్చేసాయి అంతే. So when we surrounded with that kind of people, వచ్చేసాయి. So it should be inculcated in all of us. అది చాలా అవసరం. ఎవ్రీడే ఇన్నర్ మోటివేషన్ వస్తుంది అంటారు. సో మోటివేషన్ ఈజ్ నాట్ ఫ్రమ్ అవుట్ సైడ్ టు ఇన్, ఇట్ షుడ్ బి ఇన్సైడ్ అవుట్. సో అది ఉంటుంది. సో యా. అండ్ ఇంకోటి, ఇఫ్ వి లైక్ ఇవి చూస్తుంటే చాలా వి ఫీల్ హ్యాపీ అండ్ వి ఎంజాయ్ దిస్ stories of gratitude stories from across the globe, TED Talks laga. So I am waiting for the day that happens in India. So I think there is no TED Talk video about gratitude values. I think there are not more videos made in India that TED Talk. If you take that specifically TED Talk, I think నాకు తెలిసైతే I am not aware of it. Just now search చేశాను gratitude values మీద. How many talks are there that are organized in India? Most of them are technical and other things, but yeah, అది ఎప్పుడైతే ఇండియాకి వస్తుందో, when we live in that world, when we live with that culture around us, the real happiness or the real realm of that we can get. అదే అంటే, so we see most of the videos from out of the country, right? అది మన దగ్గర ఉంటే, of course India is very rich in other aspects, and we believe I for illness, we for wellness ఇక్కడ ఈ కాన్సెప్ట్. బట్ అక్కడ కార్పొరేట్ సిస్టమ్ ఉంటుంది US లో, దట్ ఈస్ అనదర్ థింగ్ అని. సో ఇన్ అదర్ ఆస్పెక్ట్స్ ఇండియా ఇస్ వెరీ రిచ్, బట్ ఇక్కడ ఇఫ్ యూ టేక్ దీస్ సిచ్యువేషన్స్ ఇట్ ల్యాక్స్. సో వెన్ ఎవర్ దిస్ సిస్టమ్ కమ్స్ ఇన్ టు ఇండియా, when we believe that idea, and it all starts with an idea, common dialogue. It all starts with an idea. So when we start realizing that, the real happiness or the real world we can experience around us. So India needs that. Not this time world, India needs that.
Very well said, Rohit. And we are all gratitude propagators here.
Yes. It all starts with us now. It's all starts here. Change
Yes,
starts here.
Yes, Rohit. Like, it is not that India doesn't practice gratitude. It is that they didn't make a TED Talk. That's it. like yeah.
TikTok awesome and
యాక్చువల్లీ
we
కొంచెం
talk to others.
యాక్చువల్లీ
I think
కొంచెం తక్కువే శివాని. మనము ఇప్పుడు ఇప్పుడు మేము సపోజ్ ఇక్కడ ఏదైనా షాప్కి వెళ్తున్నాం అనుకో, ఓకే, మేము పోతుంటే వెనక ఎవరైనా కనబడుతున్నారంటే ఇమీడియట్గా డోర్ ఓపెన్ చేస్తాం. మేము డోర్ ఓపెన్ చేసి పట్టుకుంటాం, ముందు లోపలికి వెళ్తాం. అండ్ లోపల రాగానే ఎవరో ఒకళ్ళు అక్కడ ఉన్న వాళ్ళు కూడా హలో అని అంటుంటారు. ఎవరైనా వర్కర్స్ ఉంటారు అనుకో, హలో హౌ యూ అని అంటుంటారు. సో దెర్ ఈస్ ఏ ఇది ప్రతి చోట దెర్ ఈస్ మోర్ ఆఫ్ ఏ కస్టమర్. ఇది గుర్తుందా, నిన్న ఆయన అన్నాడు చూడు, యూ హ్యావ్ టు, ఘనశ్యామ్ గారు అన్నారు చూడు, పబ్లిక్ రిలేషన్స్ నేర్చుకోవాలని, పిఆర్ఓ
చేయాలని చెప్పారు.
వాట్ ఈస్ ఇట్ వినయ్?
1 year అయినా వర్క్ చేయాలి పబ్లిక్ రిలేషన్స్ లాగా.
ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ. సో మనకు కొంచెం తక్కువనే ఉంది. ఏమైపోయిందంటే మనము నేను వెన్ ఐ టాక్ అబౌట్ దీస్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ థింగ్స్, నేను రాగానే ఇది టీ కావాలా అంకుల్ అని అన్నా అనుకో, నేను అప్పుడు నేను ఇంకా అప్పుడు 20 ఏళ్ల కింద మ్యారేజ్ చేసుకున్నప్పుడు, వాళ్ళు నువ్వేంట్రా నువ్వు అట్లా అడుగుతున్నావు ఏంటి అని అంటారు. దే డోంట్ ఈవెన్ అప్రిషియేట్ దట్ ఐఎమ్ ఈవెన్ ఆస్కింగ్. సో నేను పోయి తీసుకొస్తున్నాను అనుకో, సరే అక్కడ పెట్టేసానంటారు. ఇప్పుడు మా నాన్న అనుకో, అరే అక్కడ పెట్టేసానంటారు. అంతేగాని హీ డజంట్ రియలీ సే ద వర్డ్స్ లైక్. సో గ్రాటిట్యూడ్ నీడ్స్ ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్ అన్నది చూడు. We might have gratitude inside us, but we don't express it. So I do feel like that has to be increased more. But anyway, not trying to find fault here, but I do think it is a good idea to increase more in myself also.
Thank you, sir. Kranti?
Akka, I want to share experience, Akka. 2 days back I spoke with my brother. అంటే నేను మా తమ్ముడితో మాట్లాడిన అక్క, అంటే మనకు గ్రాటిట్యూడ్ మైండ్ సెట్ డెవలప్ చేసుకోవాలి అని చెప్పాను అక్క. అంటే ఏం చేయాలన్నా మరి దీనికి ఎట్లా అంటే అని అడిగాడు అక్క. యూజువల్గా మనం షాప్స్కి వెళ్తాం కదా, ఒకసారి అక్కడికి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు సామాన్ తీసుకున్నాక ఒకసారి వాళ్ళకి థ్యాంక్ యూ చెప్పి చూడు అని అన్నాను అక్క. మా తమ్ముడు అన్నాడు, మనం మనీ కడతానం, మనం సామాన్లు తీసుకుంటున్నాం, మనం థ్యాంక్ యూ చెప్తే మనం పిక్చర్లా అనుకుంటారా అన్నా, మనం థ్యాంక్ యూ చెప్పడం ఏంటి, సామాన్లు తీసుకున్నాం పైసలు కూడా ఇచ్చినాగా అన్నాడు. లేదు ఒకసారి ట్రై చేసి చూడు, నువ్వేం ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ చేస్తావు ఒకసారి ట్రై చేసిడు అన్న. మేబీ ట్రై చేసి ఉండొచ్చు అక్క, హ్యాపీగా ఫీల్ అయ్యిండేమో. యూజువల్గా రెగ్యులర్గా నా దగ్గరికి వచ్చి చదువుకుంటాం ఇద్దరం. చదువుకుని వెళ్ళేటప్పుడు నాకు కూడా థ్యాంక్ యూ చెప్తున్నాడు. మేబీ అదే చేంజ్ చేసింది కావచ్చు అనుకోవచ్చు మా తమ్ముడిని.
సూపర్ క్రాంతి.
థ్యాంక్ యూ.
క్రాంతి షాప్కి వెళ్ళి ఎవరైనా తీసుకున్నా కూడా థ్యాంక్స్ అని చెప్తే అది వేరే ఫీలింగ్. ఐ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ సమ్ టైమ్స్ ఇన్ ఆర్ మా దాంట్లో చెప్తే వేరే ఉంటుంది. ఈవెన్ పేమెంట్ బేస్డే, బట్ స్టిల్ అది ఒక వర్డే కదా. ఐ కెన్
అది ఇక్కడ ప్రతి చోట అంటారు. ఇక్కడ ఆ థ్యాంక్ యూ ఉంటుంది చూడు. మేము ఇట్లా షాప్ లో నుంచి వచ్చినాం అనుకో, వి డూ దాట్. వెయిటర్ దగ్గర ఎక్కడ కూడా ఆ మాట అంటారు ఇక్కడ మేము. But Kranti, that is amazing. That not only you had a conversation with your brother, and I mean that is super. That is what. My God, I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you, sir.
And also, like, first year nunchi, for every call, like, sir will ask, shall I call you or may I call you? And then for every message, sir will type like thank you. ఏ చిన్న మెసేజ్ అయినా కూడా, లైక్ దట్ రియల్లీ మేడ్ ఎ లాట్ ఆఫ్ డిఫరెన్స్ ఇన్ మీ. లైక్ అంటే సింపుల్ గా అసలు ఏం చెప్పలేదు కానీ యా, ఇట్ మేక్స్ ఎ డిఫరెన్స్ అంతే.
యూజువల్ గా అప్పుడప్పుడు నేను కూడా ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ చేసా.
అసలు సార్ వెల్ డన్ కి లైక్ సూపర్ అంటేనే వావ్ అంటేనే ఇక ఏడో పోతుంది మైండ్. అసలు 3 years అయినా ఆ ఫీలింగే వేరు అసలు.
And Sir has been doing that cheerleader job వితౌట్ ఈవెన్ అవర్ కాన్షియస్నెస్ అంతే.
సో డిక్టేటర్ అని నిన్న సార్ అన్నారు కదా, సో యా ఇది ఆల్సో డిక్టేటర్.
డిక్టేటర్ అనే వర్డ్ ఇంటనే భయం వేస్తుంది నాకైతే.
బట్
అన్న
మన
డిస్రప్టివ్ ని
మీనింగ్ లో
అబ్సెస్ ఎట్లా మార్చేసాము అట్లానే నిన్ను కూడా మార్చేసాము.
ఎందుకంటే నాకు చిన్నప్పుడు స్పెల్లింగ్స్ రాకపోయాయి, డిక్టేషన్ పెట్టేవాళ్ళు, చాలా ఇబ్బంది అయ్యేది అనమాట.
చందన్,
thank you, Akka. Thank you so much for um, making this call happen. Really, a lot need to learn from this call. And just two weeks, I want to share one small thing. It might be benefit to you, which I am practicing a little bit. 2 days back, just I was figuring out how can I be grateful, how can I remember all the things, how can I do means there is an answer in my brain. Okay, uh, take a new Google account, and in there a note section for everyone in your group. Shivani gratitude page, Shravan sir gratitude page, Rinyana gratitude page. So whenever I see one a good thing in that, so I will make a point on that. Okay, I look the boot in his has. Next, if I collected 3 points on Shravan sir, okay, let us make a gratitude card and say him that is all. And if you practice, if we it might and I prepared a big message for throw gratitude to him, and then I realized that if I don't practice and say that, it might really so I'm waiting for 1 week. And next thing is that's it. I was really looking the benefits of it. If ante Shivanika daily sending one of the advantage how our brain getting more అంటే being grateful we'll be thinking అంటే we'll remembering lot అంటే మర్చిపోలేం. అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఒక if I learn from Vivikta, I said I learned from you, then I don't forget that what I learned from Vivikta. So it's better to uh, say her. That's it. Thank you.
wow, Chandan, wow,
Thank you.
wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Chandan. Vivikta, do you want to share?
సో ఈ కాల్ అయ్యేటప్పుడు మా మామ్ వాస్ హియర్. షీ ఆస్క్డ్ ఏం జరుగుతుంది అని. అమ్మ ఇట్లా ఇట్లా జరుగుతుంది అని అన్న, లైక్ వాట్ ఈస్ ద కాల్ అని. సో ఐ సెడ్ ఇట్లా 1000 crores కంపెనీ అవ్వాలంటే ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ ఒక టీం ఉండాలా, వాట్ డూ యూ థింక్ అని. అమ్మ చెప్పింది 2 కేస్ సెనారీస్ ఉన్నాయి. వన్, ఇప్పుడు ఎవరైతే స్టార్ట్ చేస్తున్నారో ఇఫ్ హీఈస్ ఆల్రెడీ అంటే ఒక బిజినెస్ ఫ్యామిలీలో పుట్టి పెరిగి ఉంటే దెన్ అఫ్ కోర్స్ హీ కెన్, ఎందుకంటే హీ ఆల్రెడీ హ్యాస్ దట్ మైండ్ సెట్ వన్, అండ్ హీ నోస్ హౌ టు అంటే ఆ టాక్టిక్స్ తెలుసు దట్ టు మేనేజ్ పీపుల్, హీ నోస్ ఆల్రెడీ హౌ టు మేనేజ్ పీపుల్. సో ఇట్ ఈస్ పాసిబుల్ ఏమో. అండ్ సెకండ్, మనలాగా మనం స్టూడెంట్స్, చిన్నపిల్ల ఏం వరల్డ్ చూడలేదు. సో వెన్ ఇట్ కమ్స్ టు అస్ వీ నీడ్ అ టీమ్, అండ్ టీమ్ ఉన్నప్పుడు ఇట్స్ జస్ట్ డిఫరెంట్ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ వ్యూస్, డిఫరెంట్ ఐడియాస్, అండ్ అందరికి కలిసి వెళ్తేనే కదా ఏదో ఒకటి సాధించేది. నేను ఒక్కదాన్నే చేసుకుంటాను, నేను ఒక్కదాన్నే సక్సెస్ఫుల్ అవ్వాలంటే ఎట్లా కుదురుతుంది అసలు మామూలుగా కూడా. అండ్ సెకండ్, వెన్ ఇట్ కమ్స్ టు గ్రాటిట్యూడ్ అఫ్ కోర్స్ ఉండాలి, అండ్ వెన్ ఇట్ ఈస్ అ టీమ్. ఎందుకు అని అంటే ఇఫ్ యు ఆర్ నాట్ గ్రేట్ఫుల్ టు యువర్ టీమ్ మేట్, నువ్వు నీ గురించి ఆలోచిస్తావు మళ్ళీ. లైక్ యూ హ్యావ్ బిన్ ఇన్ దట్ సెల్ఫిష్ మైండ్ సెట్ చిన్నప్పటి నుంచి. నా స్కూల్కి వెళ్తా, నేను నా చదువు నేను చేసుకుంటా అంటే అందరూ చిన్నప్పటి నుంచి మనకి పేరెంట్స్ ఏం చెప్పారు, నీ చదువు నువ్వు చూసుకో, వేరే వాళ్ళు నీకెందుకు అని అంటారు. సో వీఆర్ ఆల్రెడీ బ్రాట్ అప్ ఇన్ దట్ మైండ్ సెట్. బట్ ఎప్పుడైతే వీ వాంట్ మనం ఒక బిజినెస్ స్టార్ట్ చేయాలి ఆర్ ఇచ్చేయాలి, డెవలప్ చేయాలి అని అనుకుంటున్నప్పుడు వీ షుడ్ ఆల్వేస్ బి గ్రేట్ఫుల్. అండ్ మనం ఐడియాస్ షేర్ చేస్తున్నాం కాబట్టి యూ నీడ్ టు బి గ్రేట్ఫుల్. ఎప్పుడు ఎవరి ఐడియా క్లిక్ అవుతుందో యూ నెవర్ నో. యా, దట్స్ ఇట్.
Thank you so much, Vivekta. Wow.
Well said,
Say
Vivekta.
thanks to your mother. Wonderful idea. Like, wonderful thoughts. So, yeah, I think we can end the call. Thank you so much for attending this discussion and being a part of my obsession. Have a great day, all.